30 long laps here in this Coliseum of clay. Southern 500 Speedway Portland. It's feature race time to crown a Victorian Wingless Sprint Champ. We're green in 1 and 2 with McCarthy and Warren. Your leaders will run into 3 and 4, and they'll start to settle the ship ever so slightly. Can all cars get through lap number 1? They will. And now the war on wheels begins. McCarthy and Broome, a pair of South Aussies. They got it locked down at the top of the field. Travis Miller settles into 3rd from Brad Warren at 4th. Boy, Kirby Hillier looks strong. So too does Chris Tamby running the top. Tamby goes to the top side on Warren. Now back to Mitchell Broome, the big donkey. He's starting to receive a little bit of pressure from the defending Victorian champion in Travis Miller, who you know is never out of this. Boy, they're going to go in. Haitley tips it upside down, collects the Hillier entry. Robertson's in there, Crunch is involved as well. The rest of the field, we'll find out the rest of the damage for potentially Raymond Wallace and Cameron O'Brien as well. Glenn Harris will make a couple of calls here on the main straightaways. He'll check over those couple of cars and look at whether they'll be able to refire or not as part of our infield tech committee. So too for Sean Fitzpatrick and Haitley, that does a mountain of work on YouTube and at his business at Horsham Off-Road. So we'll have a quick chat with the medical team before hopefully being released. And he's definitely walking around A-OK under his own steam. So we'll work at clearing the rest of these race cars from the main straightaway and get stuck back into action on the other side of this, folks. Still plenty of laps left to crown a champion here at Southern 500 Speedway Portland. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a couple of moments' time. Lights are out. McCarthy from Broome. Can a pair of South Aussies take out the Victorian title? So McCarthy, Broome, Miller, Tamby, Walsh, Moore, Hobson is pinned upstairs. He's never going to die wondering. Ansell, Hobson levels up with Wheel. Hobson goes right upstairs. Wheels peeling on the bottom. It's a battle for about 7th and 8th, while it is plenty juicy back at the top as well. Broome's got the speed to run with McCarthy. Boy, they both thundered through some of the ruts on the bottom. It's getting Cowboy up in 1 and 2. 3 and 4's pretty smooth. They're all banked right to the bottom. But in 1 and 2, boy, they thump through those ruts. There's a couple of bits breaking away right on the bottom. Simmons gets chewed up and spat out of one of them. 20 left to remain now. A pair of heat races is the distance from home. Hobson. There's a pan or something. A piece of the floor tray come adrift in turn 1. There's a panel down there. It shouldn't affect them greatly. Gets sent up track. And they're starting to stack them in deep. McCarthy starting to settle the ship just a little. He's locked to the extreme outside. They're right up on that berm now on the infield. Boy, they're hopping through those holes in 1 and 2. Miller's locked in at 3rd. Tamby, Walsh, Moole and Wheel up a couple now. Hobson still trying to rip the top side. Ansell sails straight through those ruts that are starting to break away a little in 1 and 2. So 15 laps left this time for your race leader in Jack McCarthy. Hobson is still super committed to that outside. He's one of the few that are sailing it in there lap after lap. So Who can keep this speed up? It's a frantic pace. Boy, Hobson, straight across the infield. Uncharacteristic of Todd Hobson. He just ripped it down to the infield. He's climbing out of the A1. And we will go yellow as a result. This went right rear in, and Tamby now up to P3. Travis Miller thumped the right rear into that hole, forming in 1 and 2. He nearly grabs it again. Luke Wheels headed upstairs now. Wheels really starting to buy into this. He's been working the top side lap after lap. And now Luke Wheel on the top of Blake Walsh. He's come from very deep in this. He's up to 5th, and boy, I tell you, he's starting to roll the top side in beautifully. Walsh on the bottom. This is back for positions 5 and 6. McCarthy and Broome are getting in the groove. Starting to get some ground back to Tamby and Miller at 4th. Halesworth putting on a show deep. We're going to go yellow once again. And bringing them back under caution perfectly with a heat race left to run. 10 laps remain. Walsh at 5th. Moore, Halesworth out of a B main 2, mind you. Ansell, Densley, Crunch, Aston and Wallace. Look at Walsh run the bottom. Puts the move back on Wheel. And Blakey Walsh goes to 4th. Another lap going down. Boy, have a look at Blake Walsh run the top. Sizes up alongside the Victorian champ. Walsh around the top. Walsh now to 3. Chris Tamby up next on the bottom. Miller drives back by. Levels up with Walsh. Blakey's got the ears pinned back upstairs. 8 laps left remaining this time for Mitch Broome. Moore putting the move on Wheel. Halesworth thumped it through one of the ruts. Walsh is upstairs. He's coming after Tamby if he can get the run. He's got the defending champ that won't go anywhere though. 5 left to run next time. Mitchell Broome is well and truly on his way. He's got 5 laps remaining. Could this be his first state title in the wingless sprint category? He's locked to the bottom side. He's got a little bit of room up his sleeve back to Tamby. In the Tamby haulage, number 89. Walsh has settled into 3rd now from the defending champion in Miller. And then top side, Tony Mull at 5th from Luke Wheel, Chris Halesworth, Christopher Ansell, Blake Densley and Cameron O'Brien. Raymond Wallace has a car struggling on him. 2 laps remain this time for the big donkey. White flag at the ready. White getting gathered for Mitch Broome this time. As 1 full rotation remains for the BP Gambia West S35. Down the back straightaway for the last time. Into 3 and 4. Mitchell Broome. The big donkey is your new Victorian champion. Checkers will fly. Boy, there'll be a couple of proud parents up in 3 and 4. Mitchell Broome is your new Victorian wingless sprint champion, presented by Neuropower and the Tyre Factory Warrnambool. Folks, how about giving it up for the big donkey, Mitch Broome, the new Victorian wingless sprint champ.